This video explores the fascinating literary influences behind the Beatles' music and discovers how renowned authors like Lewis Carroll, Dylan Thomas, and George Orwell inspired the creative process. Moreover, it uncovers the storytelling elements in songs like Eleanor Rigby and delves into John Lennon's own contributions to literature. Join us as we reveal the deep connection between the Beatles and the world of literature, a relationship that helped shape their iconic sound and left a lasting mark on cultural history. The Beatles had a strong connection to literature, and this influenced their music in many ways. They were inspired by famous writers, used storytelling in their songs, and even contributed to the world of books themselves. Here's how the Beatles and literature are connected. John Lennon, one of the Beatles, loved the books Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. The playful and strange style of these books influenced songs like I Am the Walrus and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Lennon also enjoyed the funny, nonsense poems by Edward Lear, which shaped the way he played with words in his lyrics. Lennon was also inspired by Dylan Thomas, a poet from Wales, and James Joyce, an Irish writer. Some of the Beatles' songs, like Tomorrow Never Knows, have a dreamlike, flowing style that is similar to the works of these writers. The song I Am the Walrus has a verse that makes people think of 1984 by George Orwell and Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. The Beatles explored themes like loneliness and the loss of individuality in songs such as Nowhere Man and Eleanor Rigby, which reflect ideas found in these books. The Beatles often told stories in their songs, like writers do in books. For example, Eleanor Rigby tells a sad story about a lonely woman, Norwegian Wood describes a mysterious encounter, and Paperback Writer talks about a person who wants to become a famous author. In their lyrics, the Beatles used symbols and deeper meanings, just like in literature. For instance, Blackbird is often seen as a metaphor for the civil rights movement, and Come Together uses strange images to talk about unity. Besides writing songs, John Lennon also wrote 2 books, In His Own Right and The Spaniard in the Works. These books are filled with funny and strange stories and poems, showing Lennon's love for playful and creative language, much like the works of James Joyce and Lewis Carroll. The Beatles helped make complex literary ideas more popular by mixing them into their music. Their songs have been studied in schools and universities, and many books have been written about them. Their influence on both music and literature continues to be important today. In the 1960s, the Beatles were at the center of the counterculture, a movement that wanted to change the world. This movement was influenced by literature, especially the works of writers who were against the traditional way of thinking, like those from the Beat generation. The Beatles' music, with its references to books and new ideas, became a big part of this movement. The Beatles' music was deeply connected to literature. They were inspired by famous writers, told stories in their songs, and even created their own literary works. Their music not only reflects these influences but also helped to bring literary ideas to a wider audience.